Drive. I'm Mike. He is Aaron, and we're joined by Digsies. But first, we want to let you guys know that if you want the best in sports merchandise, apparel, jerseys, memorabilia, you name it, go to mikeandaarondrive.com, click the Fanatics logo. The entire Fanatics store is open to your disposal. So go there, get your stuff, and they have golf stuff too, I believe. And where's the LIV shop is what I'm wondering, but we'll figure that out later. What's up, Dixies? Welcome to the show, host of the 54 Live podcast.
How's it going, guys?
Doing good. How about you?
Sir?
I'm doing great. Wonderful weekend in New Jersey at Trump Bedminster. We were on site on Sunday to watch the action, and it was a great weekend. I got to say, had a lot of fun.
This is exciting to hear because you're like part of history right now. No matter what happens to this league, if it stays, if it goes, you're a part of history, and that's pretty cool if I do say so myself. So
I feel like 54 Live podcast is at the forefront of the podcast world for LIV Golf. Honestly, if you type in LIV Golf in Apple, Spotify, what have you, we're the first podcast that shows up. There's probably only 2 or 3 other ones. One hasn't even recorded since June. So I like to feel like we're at the forefront. We want to spread the good, positive news for LIV Golf.
And I like that aspect of it. I know we're going to get into the kind of controversial stuff, but I want to ask you, because, like, first off, your bio says in part covering LIV and their drive to change the game of golf. So I'm wondering, in what ways have you seen, and what ways did you see at their course that you think has changed the game in a positive way, or that they could use for building blocks for the future?
Yeah, well, I feel like the way they're going to change the game of golf, it's a long-term approach. Far on the short term, just being at the event, I've been to a ton of PGA Tour events over my life. I've been to Ryder Cups, US Open, PGA Championships, FedEx Cup playoff events. I've been to them all, except for the Masters. I every single year.
Good luck.
I get that email saying we regret to inform you that you haven't been selected. So Augusta National, 1 year. I just want to go once. I'll go to a practice round. I'll take that. But in regards to LIV, just being at the course, it was very relaxed. The golfers were interacting with the fans. They were happy to see us. You know, when you go to these events, they're just head down, focused. Let me get in, play my 4 or 5 hour round, and get out. With LIV, they want to interact with the fans. Now, in regards to long-term changing the game of golf, they want to bring golf on a global scale. Now, the PGA Tour, a good majority of their tournaments, I would say 75, 80% is in the United States. With LIV, they want to go different places. They want to go to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. They want to go to Bangkok. Next year, Greg Norman, the CEO of LIV Golf, is from Australia. He wants to go to Australia. Australia has some of the nicest golf courses in the world. That's an untapped market. They have the Australian Open. They have a bunch of events in December, but a lot of the PGA Tour pros and top golfers in the world aren't traveling down there around the holidays. So LIV Golf wants to tap into that market. And also, the last thing I want to say is them broadcasting the event on YouTube is great, because people in third world countries overseas, they don't have NBC, they don't have CBS. They might, but it's hard to get that. With YouTube, you're able to go on. Anybody with a phone, computer can go on YouTube and watch the event.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I dig that for sure, and just based on what I saw, from Trump Bedminster, it seemed like the crowd was engaged. It seemed like you said, the players, the pro-am, the celebrities, and even, former President Trump himself, like the interaction with the fans and the spectators. I mean, you were there, like the vibe seemed a little more relaxed, other than some pro-ams that I've even been to in PGA Tour. So I just kind of want you to walk us through just the experience you had and maybe some of the differences, because it sounds like you've been to a ton of PGA Tour events. Some of the differences that you saw, other than just the fan engagement aspect of it, with this event compared to some PGA Tour events.
Yeah, well, the main difference is the shotgun start. Okay, with regular
Okay.
PGA Tour events, everybody tees off at 1. Sometimes they do split tees. They tee off at 10. So the big difference is shotgun start. Everybody teed off at 1 o'clock. They had a countdown clock. 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3, what have you. So all the golfers are huddled together in carts in the front of the clubhouse, talking, BS, and you see a sense of camaraderie. The golfers, there's only 48 of them with their caddies. They're talking to each other, they're BSing, they're laughing, and then the horn blows and they all go out to their hole. So pretty much with this, anywhere you sit, you know there's golfers coming through. Okay, if you go to a regular PGA Tour event, you get there when the first tee shot hits. You need to be on the first or the 10th tee to see people and then wait for people to come through. With this, any hole you're on, people come through. So I would say that's the biggest change with the shotgun start, and I like it. And also, it not only is it good for the people that are on the grounds, it's good for the viewers, because you sit down, watch golf. It's a 4 or 5 hour event. It's like watching a football game, a basketball game, a baseball game. Whereas regular golf events, it's going from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And mostly everybody's tuning in the afternoon to see the leaders play. With this, everybody's on the course at the same time. You're able to see everybody. And the coverage has been amazing because they're showing golf shots. It's golf shot, golf shot, golf shot. The coverage for the other, PGA Tour, NBC, CBS, it's golf shot, commercial, golf shot, ad. LIV Golf is all about the golf.
Is that something we would see? I know that obviously the funding, for LIV is a lot different, but do you think commercials are something that we could see if popularity rose with LIV Golf?
Yeah, I think obviously if someone's going to offer them X amount of money to put a commercial on the coverage, they're going to take it. But I don't think it's going to be as crazy as it is, with the PGA Tour. With the PGA Tour, like you see 2-3 shots, you get a commercial, 2-3 shots, you get a course overview. It's just, and I'm not the only one. Just because I'm a LIV fan doesn't mean I'm not a PGA Tour fan. I'm still going to watch.
No, of course.
Tour. I'm not one that's going to be like, oh, LIV, no PGA Tour, it's golf. More golf for the golf fans is better for everybody. You don't have to take sides here.
That's true. And that's a good point that I kind of want to drive home with a lot of the people who are just PGA Tour purists. And, one of our regular guests on the show is a big PGA guy, and he hasn't, downplayed the LIV Golf. He says it's not something I'm going to support. And so I want to ask you this, and you guys talk about this on your show. What are your thoughts on the way that the PGA Tour seems to be reacting to LIV Golf, in terms of, obviously, Golf Digest seems to have a bug up their ass about the LIV Golf. But What are your thoughts on the way that the PGA Tour and its players seem to be reacting publicly to LIV Golf?
I think it's harsh. The players have their opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. I don't hate the players for making those comments, but I can hate on the PGA Tour Commissioner, Jay Monahan, and the DP World Tour Commissioner Pelly, because the sanctions they have, like kicking them off the PGA Tour, Henrik Stenson, he just won this week at Bedminster. He hasn't won in 5 years. He signed on, and because he signed on to LIV Golf, the European Tour, well, it's called the DP World Tour now, let's be correct. The DP World Tour stripped him of the Ryder Cup captaincy for Rome in 2023. So he met a big backlash going into this tournament. The media was hating on him, and he went out there, he put the critics at bay, he won. So I feel like the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour have been very harsh with the sanctions. The main thing right now with LIV Golf is they need to get official World Golf Ranking points, because that's how you get into the majors. That's the big all end all with golf. Everybody wants to win a major, and there's a committee, an 8-man committee, and Jay Monahan's the PGA Tour commissioner's on that committee. The DP World Tour commissioner's on that committee. So I feel like that's a conflict of interest, and they're not going to want to give the world ranking points to LIV Golf because they feel like they abandoned the PGA Tour. But I'm telling you now, 2-3 years, maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, PGA Tour is going to realize what went wrong, and they're going to have a working relationship. I guarantee you down the road, they're going to have a working relationship, and they're going to have a working relationship in order for them, to be able to bring those big stars back.
I want to first commend your positivity on this whole subject, because it is very easy, but beside the fact that it's a Saudi thing, like just the fact that people are just so bent, and like Aaron said, the media is just trying to drive home it's so negative, the negativity about it. I appreciate you coming on the show and being that voice of reason, being that voice of positivity and hope for golf, because like you said, you hope it changes golf. I'm sure like your end game is they merge and we can this bull crap. But how tough is it keeping the? I know you might be a positive guy naturally, but how tough is it hearing the crap and like just having to just not engage with people? I know it's got to be tough.
Very tough. Anytime I make a post on Twitter at 54 Live Pod, my Twitter handle, if I make a post, I have more negative comments, more negative stuff than positive. So I just ignore it. I don't respond back because you know what? You can go back and forth with these people. It's never going to end. They're going to continue to come at you. There's people that don't like LIV Golf. That's fine. You don't have to watch it. But, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Just because your opinion isn't the same as somebody else's doesn't mean it's wrong. That's the problem with the world today. Everybody thinks that their opinion is the only opinion that matters. You want to be a PGA Tour fanboy, you don't want to watch LIV, that's fine. Enjoy the PGA Tour. Don't be hating on people that want to watch both or the people that are big LIV Golf fans.
I love that response.
So help us, because we're obviously, I mean, everybody is new to LIV Golf. And for someone who is interested in getting involved in watching it, being a part of it, you know, just enjoying it, the team aspect really hasn't been successful outside of the Ryder Cup, you know, President's Cup thing. But like, you know, you have I believe the tournament in New Orleans, correct me if I'm wrong, the Zurich Classic, the team event, just not super popular. So walk me through how this works, this team event, because I know Henrik Stenson won the tournament, but then his team wins the tournament. So how does this all work week to week with the team style events? So just kind of walk me through a tournament in LIV Golf.
Of course, yeah. Well, Henrik Stenson won the tournament. His team came in second. The team that won was the four aces, the team of Dustin Johnson, Patrick Reed, Taylor Gooch, and Pat Perez. They won back-to-back weeks.
Pretty good team.
Yeah. So the way it works is the first 2 days, round one and round two, the top two golfers, their scores count. Okay, so I believe round one, it was Dustin Johnson and Patrick Reed scores counted for four aces. Day two, the top two. On day three, it goes to top three. So not all the players' scores are counting for that team score that week. So you have the individuals, they play, whatever they score for themselves, the individual will count for the team as long as it's better than the other two. If it's the top two out of the four.
So when you say the top two, do you mean the top two in rankings or the top two scores for that day? Like if Pat Perez is your number 4 guy theoretically, but he goes out and fires 8 under, his score counts, or because he's not a top 2 guy? Okay, so it's the top 2 scores.
Top 2 scores that day. So every day it changes. So let's say Pat Perez, you know, on Friday and Saturday he shot 8 over, but on Sunday he finds something, he goes out and fires a 5 under, and you know Taylor Gooch fires 2 under, they'll take Pat Perez's score. So it's the top 2 players from the 4-man team on Friday and Saturday, and on Sunday it's the top 3 players from the 4-man team.
Gotcha. I keep forgetting it is a 54 hole competition. Yes. That's another big one as well. People
don't realize that's what the LIV is for. LIV 54 in Roman numerals.
Okay, I've wondered where the Roman numerals came from, because I was like 48 golfers, but 54 holes. That you just clarified it for me. There we go.
Yes.
That makes the name of the tour so much more awesome. I gotta say, I wasn't super in love with it, but making that the name, that is really awesome. That's actually something I learned today. And as we wrap up here with our guest Digsies of the 54 Live podcast, again, first US-based LIV Golf show. The thing I want to say is I kind of want to see. You've talked about a lot of different things here during this segment, and we obviously appreciate it all. But I want to know what your podcast, like what you personally aim to achieve with this podcast, not only promoting the game, but, you know, personally as well.
Personally, I'm not going to lie. I want to have the biggest LIV Golf podcast there is. That's my end game.
Very cool.
And I feel like we're at the forefront, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make that happen. I've already reached out to a ton of LIV golfers. You know, I even reached out to Greg Norman. They don't know me from a hole in the wall. I'm brand new. I only started, you know, a month and a half ago. But You know what? What's the worst thing they could say? No, right? So I reached out to these guys. Hopefully one day I get one of them. I reached out when I went to Bedminster. I tried to get a media pass. They turned me down, but hopefully one day I will. And so that's what I'm looking for on a personal side. And, you know, professionally, I just want to bring positive LIV Golf news. Anything that happens in regards to LIV Golf, I want to analyze the tournament. I want to analyze the shots, and I just want to be a one-stop shop for all LIV Golf fans to go listen to the podcast, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Follow the Twitter. We'll give you the breaking news, and I just want to help grow the game with LIV.
That's really cool.
Incredible. I have one more question. That's a curveball as we send you on your way. Once again, thank you so much. But in honor of what we're going to do next segment, because it's Top 5 Tuesday here for us on the AM Drive, I want your number one most electrifying college football player of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Ooh. Like me personally, that I watched?
Yeah.
I would say Reggie Bush, 1A, Vince Young, 1B. That Rose Bowl game between Texas and USC, electric.
100%. I think you nailed it right on the head. Again, Digsies, host of the 54 Live podcast. This was an awesome and eye-opening experience for us, especially guys that are looking to get into the LIV Golf world. And I checked out, a few holes of the tournament this weekend, and I enjoyed the product. So we obviously wish you nothing but the best. Would love to have you on again sometime. And we are looking forward to all the major strides that LIV Golf and the 54 Live podcast are doing.
Thank you.
And hopefully that's together.
Yes. And anybody that wants to tune in, the next tournament is in Boston, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd to September 4th. You can watch all the action on YouTube. And again, right there, 54 Live pod. Follow me on Twitter. Listen to the podcast. And thank you guys. Great segment. And I hope to come on. Anytime you guys want to talk golf, LIV Golf, I'm ready for you.
Your positivity would be a joy to have again. Let me tell you. That was awesome. Thank you,
guys.
All right, guys. When we come back, once again, it's Top 5 Tuesday, the most electrifying college football players ever. How similar are our lists going to be? I don't know. Mike's a little bit younger than me, but we'll have to find out here on the other side of the break. Stick and stay. It's the AM Drive here on our own social media networks.
The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask.
It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
All right, and welcome back here to the final segment of the AM Drive on this Top 5 Tuesday. And we got to give a shout out to Digsies again of the 54 Live podcast. The whole 54 LIV thing just blew my mind.
Come on.
Didn't even put it together. I mean, it makes me like this league even more. I know you've been an on the fence guy, but what do you take away from this? How are you leaning now a little more one way or the other with? And it's okay if you're still leaning PGA. Like, I still love the PGA. I will still watch the PGA. We talk PGA every week with our boy Tony Johnson. But just how are you feeling after this? I'm a little more intrigued by LIV Golf week by week.
If I had to put a number percentage-wise on it, I was like 80-20 before in favor of PGA Tour. I'm now, after that guest segment with Digsies, who was just, again, incredible and positive, when he said the merger coming together, that he hopes is the end goal.
Well, he didn't say merger necessarily. He said the leagues would work together.
Well, no, and that's fine to me. I would be on board with that. I'm now 45. I'm now 45% in favor of LIV Golf compared to 20 before. So I'm now almost half and half, which he convinced me a lot of stuff.
And that's fair. And I think that's exactly what the goal of his podcast is to do, is to just, I don't want to say raise awareness, because LIV Golf's not a charity or anything, but just bring awareness to this league and to this version of golf. And
right.
It is funny how he nailed it on the head. And I can't speak for every golf fan, but it does seem like the ones who have stayed loyal to PGA have just nothing but hate in their hearts for LIV Golf, and the other, the LIV Golf fans and players are just like, man, just do you, just leave us alone. We've made a decision. We have to live with it. Now, again, down the line, if yeah, exactly. Down the line, if they do end up coming together and working together, or hell, even merging, I mean, do you ever think there's a spot where the PGA gets swallowed up by LIV Golf? Like they merge that way?
Here's what I like. And here's why I'm hoping. I think it'd be cool for that to happen, because, Aaron, it's almost like the hate is geared from the PGA itself by banning the players. Like, it's almost like
that plus the media.
Right. So LIV took them, right? But really, was it a taking, or was it, can we use these guys? And then PGA said, oh, no, we don't want them at all.
Well, in the words in The Godfather, they made them an offer they couldn't refuse.
No, but here's the thing. But their goal was never to do that. Like, LIV's whole goal was just to make a better golf game, it seems like. PGA is like cutting these guys off and creating the controversy. If they had just left it alone and let these guys do other things, this may not be a controversy at all.
It might not be. I mean, eventually the Saudi-backed, moral compasses of everybody eventually just goes away. But yeah, I mean, I think you could have a point there. And I think a lot of the hatred stems more from the PGA and the media outlets that obviously are sponsored or are in the PGA's back pocket. Most of the players are like, hey, man, those guys, they had to do what they had to do. And then the fans, some of them are just like, like Tony. Tony seems to have a level head about this. And of course, we'll talk to him about it. But I actually, one thing that Diggsy said right in the beginning was just like, what they're doing is a completely different aspect. And it's not an instant gratification thing. It is a long game. In 3-4 years, because of the money that they are able to be backed by, like this is not a thing that like week 1 comes out and it's a failed product. Not at all. Like it could be a 2, 3, 4 year, I don't want to use the word experiment, but process. Yeah. Trust the process, I guess. Well, to use your basketball terms here. But again, shout out to Digsies again for coming aboard the show and giving us a little bit of a dose of the 54 Live podcast and LIV Golf in a nutshell, and really broke it down for us better than anything we've read. Anything I've read, he broke it down for us. And
it's the Jersey accent.
We're hoping to have him back on the show after the Boston event here after Labor Day. So stick and stay for that. Stay tuned. If you're a 54 Live podcast fan or an AM Drive podcast fan. And by the way, if you're watching and listening to this show, make sure you check out the 54 Live podcast when they drop and follow them on Twitter. It's right there below Mike, 54 Live POD. All right.
I'll say, forget the baseball, he really earned a quite a few more appearances on our show. I'll admit, some guests, I wonder, this guy literally came on the show and sold me, and he was very positive, and you can't help but love the guy, love him, and love what he's supporting, and love what he's trying to do there. It's really incredible. So
I mean, it's 100%. He's at the foundation of a brand, so the hype has to be self-generated. So it's you're right, and he doesn't shy away from that, and he knows he's going to take some some heat, and he may have thought he was coming on our show to take some heat as well. And
Cool.
like I said, we don't have any ill will towards the LIV Golf at this juncture. So